Now, let's welcome our very own Parnashri Saha, Security Architect at Encryption Consulting. Parnashri will guide us through the essential transition from FIPS 142 to 143 compliance. Her talk will outline the new security requirements, explain the key differences between the two standards, and provide a roadmap for effective implementation. You'll gain practical insights into FIPS compliance from understanding the terminology to the steps required for a smooth transition. Please give a warm welcome to Panashi.
Thank you, Surbhi, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Parnashri. I'm working as a security architect with Encryption Consulting, and I'm excited to be here today with all of you. So, in today's session, we will dive into FIPS 140 Revision 2 and Revision 3 compliance. We will explore critical insights that will enhance your understanding of FIPS 140 standard, cryptographic security, and compliance requirements. Let's take a moment and look at our agenda today. So, we will kick things off by understanding the basics of FIPS. This will set a solid foundation for our discussion. Next, we'll look at the timeline of FIPS standards. This overview will help us appreciate the evolution of these critical guidelines. And then we will explore why FIPS 140 is considered the gold standard in cryptographic protection and how it enables organization to achieve higher security. Then we will dive into the FIPS 140 Revision 2 framework and its security requirements. We will then discuss the process of transitioning from FIPS 140 Revision 2 to FIPS 140 Revision 3 framework and the key changes and the enhancement in FIPS 140 Revision 3. We will then go over a case study and explain how we have helped one of our clients achieve FIPS 140 Revision 2 compliance. And finally, we will talk about how encryption consulting can assist you in this journey. We will discuss our advisory services and how we can support your organization in achieving compliance requirement. So, as we move closer to the end of 2024, the Thales Data Threat Report 2024 shows a critical trend. Compliance and security are increasingly aligned, underscoring compliance's key role in data protection. So, the report reveals that 43% of enterprises failed a compliance audit in the past year, and 31% of these organizations experienced a data breach in the same time frame, highlighting the vital link between compliance and effective data security measures. As we prepare our strategy for the coming year FY25, prioritizing compliance with strengthened defenses against breaches and enhanced customer relationship, creating a more secure operational environment. Let's begin by going over the essential of FIPS or Federal Information Processing Standards. We will kick off by exploring the foundational aspects of FIPS and understanding its significant impact on enhancing the data security to ensure compliance across organizations. So, as we all know, FIPS standards are more than just compliance checkboxes. They are designed to provide a strong foundation for securing sensitive data. So, in recent years, we have seen a shift towards better alignment in compliance and security measures across different industries. As a result, many organizations are turning to FIPS standards as a benchmark for their security practices. So let's start by looking at which organizations need to consider FIPS compliance. Firstly, federal government agencies, given their role in handling critical national information. Then we have government contractors who often work with these agencies. Next, we have third party vendors. This can include anyone from the suppliers or suppliers to the IT support partners. For cloud technology providers, FIPS 140 standard is crucial because they handle vast amount of data for clients, often across multiple industries. And then cybersecurity organizations are another key group as FIPS provide them with a strong framework of cryptographic security measures. And finally, other industries like finance industry, healthcare, and utilities often adopt FIPS to reinforce customer trust and meet regulatory demands. So even if FIPS isn't mandatory for everyone or every industry, but aligning with it can provide significant security and compliance advancements. Now let's break down the key pillars of FIPS standard or FIPS compliance. This will help us a better idea of what's involved in achieving compliance and how each part contributes to robust security framework. First, there is security level determination. So, FIPS 140 standard specifies four security levels from level 1, which is the baseline security level, up to level 4, which is the most stringent security level. The second pillar is set of security requirements. These are the detailed guidelines FIPS provides to ensure that every aspect of cryptographic security requirements are covered, and the requirements include everything from module design to transmission, data transmission, the cryptographic algorithm use, the strength of the cryptographic keys, and the resistance to attack. So these requirements outline a set of security requirements that cryptographic module must meet. Next, we have cryptographic algorithm validation. So FIPS 140 requires only approved cryptographic algorithm to be used within the module, ensuring they are tested and certified for strength and reliability. Then there is cryptographic module specification. This pillar defines the technical specifications a cryptographic module must meet to be compliant. So this includes details such as the physical design, hardware, software, to from firmware, the interfaces it uses, and the algorithms it supports. Lastly, we have cryptographic module validation. This is where FIPS certified testing lab comes in to evaluate and validate a cryptographic module. So to summarize, FIPS 140 standard is about more than just technical standard. It's a comprehensive framework designed to ensure cryptographic security through precise requirements, validated algorithms, and certified cryptographic modules. Let's walk through the key milestones in the development of FIPS. So on May 25th, 2001, FIPS 140 Revision 2 was officially released. This marked a foundational shift, establishing a comprehensive framework for securing cryptographic modules. Later that year, on November 15th, FIPS 140 Revision 2 became effective. Uh, as technology advanced and security threats intensified, an update was needed. So on March 22nd, 2019, NIST released FIPS 140 Revision 3. So this updated standard was designed to address the modern needs of cybersecurity, improving the previous standard and aligning cryptographic practices with today's security challenges. By September 22nd, 2019, FIPS 140 Revision 3 officially became effective, and organizations were encouraged to begin their transition to this updated standard. The following year, on March 22nd, 2020, the Cryptographic Module Validation Program, also known as CMVP, completed its initial rollout of FIPS 140 Revision 3. Fast forward to the future, almost 2 years from now, September 22nd, 2026 will be the final day that FIPS 140 Revision 2 validation obtained on 2021 will remain valid. Organizations must complete their transition to FIPS 140 Revision 3 before this deadline to maintain compliance and uphold the security of their cryptographic modules. Now, let's explore the role of FIPS 140 in the data security. So, and why it is considered the gold standard in cryptographic protection. So, we'll see how it enables organizations to achieve higher security, build trust, and establish a strong foundation for managing risks. So let's have a look. So regulatory compliance, as we discussed, FIPS 140 compliance isn't just a guideline, it's a legal requirement for federal agencies and their contractors. So beyond federal applications, this standard is also widely adopted by organizations in finance, healthcare, and cloud services, given its rigorous approach to security. Then we have risk management. Risk management is central to FIPS 140 standard, which enforces strict controls for cryptographic modules, hardware and software to minimize vulnerabilities. So by tightly regulating cryptographic keys and sensitive security parameters, that is also known as SSPs, FIPS reduce risk of unauthorized access and accidental exposure, safeguarding data and limiting the organization's exposure to breaches and cyber threats. Interoperability, FIPS 140 sets a unified security baseline that enhances interoperability across cryptographic systems. By standardizing security requirements, it enables secure interaction across multi-vendor environment, simplifying secure data exchange across on-premises and cloud platforms while ensuring compliance and security. Vendor assurance, FIPS 140 compliance is key of vendor assurance. As vendors meeting FIPS 140 version 2 or version 3 standard offer robust compliant secure cryptographic solutions. So this allows organizations confidently select trusted FIPS compliance products, reducing the need for extensive internal security audits. A key aspect of FIPS 140 is its impact on data integrity. So, by requiring validated cryptographic methods, FIPS ensures data remains unaltered during storage, processing, and transmission. So, FIPS approved algorithms guard against tampering, making it vital for organizations needing strict data integrity control, especially with sensitive or regulated data. Trust and Assurance FIPS 140 is a global benchmark for secure cryptographic practices. So, achieving FIPS compliance demonstrate an organization's commitment to strong security, earning trust from the client's partner and regulators. And it signifies a priority on security and adherence to the high standard, reinforcing confidence in their data protection strategy. Cryptographic controls FIPS 140 standard enforces strict cryptographic controls covering everything from random number generator generation to key lifecycle management. It mandates rigorous testing of approved algorithms to ensure they meet security standards, helping organizations maintain resilient cryptographic functions and reducing vulnerabilities from algorithmic flaws. Lastly, best practices. This is very important. FIPS 140 promotes best practices in cryptographic and data security, guiding organizations towards a structured approach from module design to lifecycle management of the cryptographic module. By following this standard, organizations reduce security gaps and achieve a consistent high level of security across various environments. Now let's look into the FIPS 140 Revision 2 framework, which is an essential for ensuring the security of cryptographic modules. So it lays out clear security requirements, providing different security levels that organizations can use to achieve the protection they need based on their environment and the risk factors. So let's start with cryptographic module specifications. From security level 1 to security level 4, basically across all levels, it specifies the cryptographic module, including approved algorithms and the modes of operation, proper documentation. This involves describing every component, hardware, software, firmware, of the module and ensuring we have a solid security policy in place. So this level defines the foundational elements so everyone knows what's inside the module and how it is secured. Next, we have cryptographic module ports and interfaces. So at security level 1 and 2, physical ports and logical interfaces used for the input and output of plain text cryptographic keys, key components, authentication data, and critical security parameters or CSPs may be shared with other ports and interfaces of this cryptographic module. But at level 3 and 4, however, These ports and interfaces are separated physically or logically via a trusted path or for enhanced security. Now let's discuss role, service, and authentication. At level 1, a cryptographic module does not require authentication for access control. Roles are selected either implicitly or explicitly by the operator. By level 2, role based authentication is required, and at level 3 and 4, identity based authentication is mandatory. So, this progression strengthens security, ensuring only authorized individuals access specific system paths. So next is cryptographic key management. Cryptographic key management is vital for encrypting sensitive data. Across all security levels, key management requirements cover the full or complete life cycle of keys, key components, and critical security parameters, that are CSPs, including generation, uh, establishment, distribution, storage, or and key zeroization. So encrypted keys or cryptographic keys and the CSPs must use an approved algorithm, otherwise they are treated as plain text. So secret and private keys along with the CSPs must be protected from unauthorized access, modification and substitution, while public keys are safeguarded from unauthorized modification. Documentation must detail all cryptographic key components and CSPs in use, ensuring a detailed and clear secure key management process is established. On to self-test. This part of the framework involves checks that keeps the module functioning correctly. For all levels, these are the power-up test and the conditional self-test, which needs to be performed when an application security functions or operation is invoked. Additionally, a proper documentation should be maintained with the self-test results. The framework also considers the mitigation of other attacks. So, for all security levels, we focused on specifying how to handle attacks that may not have testable requirements yet. So, this level ensures that the system is prepared to handle potential threats even when standard tests aren't available. It's about staying proactive against evolving security challenges. Physical security is another vital component. The requirement here becomes more stringent with each level. So, at level 1, we start with production grade equipment, move to level 2. FIPS introduce tamper evident features like locks or seals. At level 3, FIPS add tamper detection and response for covers and doors, creating more physical barriers against unauthorized access. Finally, at level 4, we reach the highest level of protection with a tamper detection envelope that actively responds to physical tampering. So let's move to operational environment. At level 1, the cryptographic module does not require a secure environment. It's pretty flexible. At level 2, though the module must be in a controlled access location like a data center, with physical access controls and temper evident features. But it has to, I mean, they have to have the physical access control implemented and temper evident feature implemented at level 2. At level 3, the module's environment must include physical access control and temper responsive design. At level 4, FIPS add continuous monitoring and environmental controls, ensuring that the module can detect and respond to tampering in real time. Finally, we have design assurance. At level 1, we start with basic configuration management, secure installation, design and policy correspondence, and guidance documents. Leveling up to level 2, FIPS add a configuration management system, secure distribution, and functional specifications. Level 3 introduces high level model with extensive documentation and tests. At the top, level 4 requires a formal model with detailed explanation, precondition, post conditions, and rigorous quality controls. So to wrap up, the FIPS 140 Revision 2 framework gives us a structured approach to cryptographic module security requirements. Each level is a step up in protection, covering everything from how we define the module to how we secure it against physical tampering and other attacks. So, by choosing the appropriate security level, organizations can better protect sensitive data and ensure that the highest level of security of for their cryptographic processes. Now that we have covered the basics of FIPS 140 Revision 2, let's transition our focus to FIPS 140 Revision 3. We will examine the critical updates and requirements associated with the standard and how organizations can effectively navigate the transition process. FIPS 140 Revision 3 framework builds on its predecessor FIPS 140 Revision 2 but introduced new requirements to meet today's advanced security challenges. So, just like FIPS 140 Revision 2, this standard specifies four levels of security for each of the requirement areas, where the degree of security increases as each level progresses. So, as we discussed in FIPS 140 Revision 2, we'll start with cryptographic module specifications. So here, the specific here for across all these security levels, the specifications are defined in more details, covering everything from the approved algorithm and securing security functions it uses to how it operates in both normal and degraded mode. For all security levels, the cryptographic modules needs to provide status information that tells us when it's using an approved algorithm or security functions and processing correctly. So this step ensures that the transparency and ensures that the module is functioning securely. Next up is ports and interfaces at security level 1 to and at security level 1 and security level 2 we specify all required and optional interfaces as well as the data paths for both input and output. By the time we reach security level 3 and 4, FIPS introduced trusted channel which is designed to protect the data flowing in and out of the module with an even higher degree of security. Moving on to roles, services, and authentication. So here we start with security level 1, where there is a logical separation between different roles and services. This means we clearly define each role's access and responsibilities. As we go up through the levels, authentication methods become stricter. So in level 2, we require role-based or identity-based authentication. At level 3, this authentication must be identity-based authentication. And by level 4, we require multi-factor authentication. So at level 4, we're adding another extra layer of security to protect against unauthorized access. For the security requirement parameters, software and firmware security. So FIPS 140 Revision 3 emphasizes ensuring the integrity of the software and firmware. So at security level 1, a basic approved integrity check is enough. By level 2, we require an approved digital signature or message authentication code-based integrity test. So which will basically help verify that only authorized updates have been made to the module. At level 3, this requirement becomes even stricter with a mandatory approved digital signature based integrity test. Now, moving on to operational environment at security level 1, the module needs a non-modifiable environment to maintain security. Moving to level 2, the environment is modifiable, but with added access controls and an audit mechanism to monitor the changes. And level 3 and 4, the environment should withstand a range of conditions like extreme temperature and humidity and have detection measures in place to respond to potential compromise attempts. Physical security is a critical area and requirements increase with each level. So, however, not much have changed in security level 1 and 2 comparing it to FIPS 140 Revision 2. However, in level 3, now requires, with the tampering seal, it now requires a numbering or unique identifier. So security level 3 now also requires environmental failure testing, that is EFT, or environmental failure protection, that is EFP. And security level 4 now requires environmental failure protection for voltage and temperature and protection from fault inductions. Non-invasive security, the FIPS 140 Revision 3 framework also focuses on non-invasive security, a feature that helps protect against less obvious threats. So this involves documented techniques designed to counter specific non-invasive attacks as outlined in Annex F of the FIPS 140 Revision 3 guidance. Uh, at secret level 4, modules must undergo testing to verify that they effectively mitigate these kinds of attacks. So let's continue exploring the FIPS 140 Revision 3 framework. Next is the security parameter management. So this section covers requirements for creating, managing, and protecting these sensitive parameters. For each security level, we start with basic controls from random bit generators, generation, entry and output, storage, and secure eraser or zeroization of these values. So if we are transmitting SSPs, uh, it can be done through automated approved methods. However, manually established SSPs can be entered or output in plain text. So when we reach level 3 and 4, the requirement tightens and manually established SSPs must be encrypted, entered over a trusted channel, or handled using split knowledge procedures where no single person have full access to the SSP. So this protects against the risk of unauthorized access to these critical parameters. Next, let's look at self-test, which ensure the integrity and functionality of our cryptographic modules. So there are two types here, pre-operational and conditional. So let's understand the difference in self-test between the revision 2 and revision 3. So in FIPS 140 Division 3, pre-operational self-test includes integrity test, bypass test, and critical functions test. It includes error detection, code integrity test for hardware modules at security level 1. In security level 2, this code detection is needed at security level 2 in the revision 2. And in FIPS 140, Division 3 introduces the new conditional cryptographic algorithm self test that must be performed prior to initial use. So, conditional bypass testing now requires an approved integrity technique. Checks must be initiated by the module immediately before and after the changes. Now, lifecycle assurance requirements focus on how the cryptographic module is managed throughout its entire lifespan, ensuring consistent security from design to development. So, under configuration management or CM at level 1 and 2, we need configuration management system to track the cryptographic module and its components and documentation with everything uniquely identified throughout its life cycle. By level 3 and 4, an automated configuration management system is in place. Automation enhances accuracy and consistency, as we all know, and it will also help minimize the chances of errors or gaps as changes are made. For design, all security level specifies that module must be structured to allow for testing of all security related services. This design transparency allows us to verify that each service is performing as expected. So when it comes to testing, level 1 and level 2 requires functional testing to ensure that every function operates correctly. At level 3 and 4, FIPS added low level testing for more in depth verification, analyzing individual components to identify any weak points or any improvement scope. Delivery and operation under the life cycle requires cover secure handling from initialization to final deployment. So at level one, FIPS have an initialization procedure to set up the module securely. By level two, a delivery procedure is introduced to confirm the secure transfer of the module to the destination. At level 3 and 4, it becomes more interesting. The operator must authenticate using information provided by the vendor. So ensuring that only authorized personnel can operate the module. For guidance, the framework also provides documentation for different types of users at all levels. Create guidance for both administrators and non-administrators, ensuring that each user type understands how to interact with this module securely. This user-specific guidance is important to minimize user or human errors that could compromise security. Finally, let's talk about the mitigation of other attacks. So at level 1, 2, and 3, this involves outlining how to handle attacks that don't yet have testable requirements. So we perform integrity tests using approved digital signature to verify that the system hasn't been tampered with. Finally, let's talk about the mitigation of other attacks. So, at level 1, 2, and 3, this involves outlining how to handle attacks that do not yet have testable requirements. At level 4, this mitigation extends to attack with testable requirements, and the module must actively defend against these threats using documented techniques. So, this idea is to stay ahead of potential risks by planning for known and unknown attack types. So, to summarize, FIPS 140 Revision 3 builds on the foundational security requirements we covered earlier in FIPS 140 2 also, but here we have included lifecycle guidance and non invasive security. Addressing security parameters management, self testing, and mitigation of advanced attacks. So, these steps ensure that cryptographic modules not only start secure but remain secure throughout the entire cryptographic module life cycle and even as security threat advances. Now, as we have understood both the frameworks individually, let's have a quick look at the key changes and enhancement in FIPS 140 Revision 3. So, FIPS 140 Revision 2 only addresses security requirements after completion, but FIPS 140 Revision 3 now evaluates security requirements at all stages of cryptographic module creation, designing, implementation, and final operational deployment. So let's understand some general difference between these two standards. So firstly, many of the lesson learned points from FIPS 140 Revision 2 have been addressed in Revision 3. SP 800 140E introduces strong authentication requirement at security level 2 and above. FIPS 140 Revision 3 will focus on hybrid models and entropy. As we discuss in the FIPS 143 framework, there are physical security changes at security level 3 and 4, and FIPS 140 Revision 3 introduces life cycle requirements, and FIPS 140 introduces mitigation testing using test metrics as defined by SP 800 140F. So there are more prospective security policies a requirement in FIPS 140 Revision 3. The key difference between these two standards in the security requirement of roles, services, and authentication. So with FIPS 140 Revision 3, the user role is now optional. Only the crypto officer role is required. Authentication protocol must be enforced by the module at security level 2 as opposed to the procedural mechanism in FIPS 140 Revision 2. Designs must comply with SP 800 140E. And security level 4 now requires multi-factor authentication, and authentication data now must be modified at first use. So this enhancements, which is reflecting in FIPS 140 Division 3, it reflects a strong response to contemporary cybersecurity challenges, providing a comprehensive framework that strengthens the security architecture of cryptographic implementations. Now let's have a look at the FIPS 143 approved cryptographic algorithm. So FIPS 140 revision 3 standard is designed in line with an ISO standard which is 19790 from 2012. But the FIPS standard overrides part of the ISO standard, the part about which algorithms can be approved. So overrides Annex C of the ISO standard with a document called SB 800 140C, which itself does not define the algorithms. It in fact gives a list of references to existing NIST publications about algorithms and key lengths and transition and so on. So in that note, so let's have a closer look at the symmetric algorithm, which is approved by FIPS 140 revision 3. The first one is the triple data encryption standard, or triple DS. So while it played a vital role in the past, its vulnerabilities in the face of modern attacks make it a legacy choice. So this is not recommended for any new systems. So on the other hand, the advanced encryption standard, or AES, is a shining star in the category. So with key sizes of 128 as minimum and 256 as the maximum, AES not only meets uh, but exceeds security expectations. Moving on to the digital signature, the in the FIPS 140 revision 3 framework, we must ensure that our digital signature provides at least 112 bit of security strength. Additionally, we have uh, Additionally, we have elliptic curve options, that is ECDSA or EDDSA, which offers strong security with smaller key size. The RSA algorithm, another staple in the digital signature arena, should be implemented with at least 2048 bits of key length. Next, let's look at the hash functions, one of the most important element of data integrity. So the SHA-2 family and SHA-3 family brings new capabilities, security, and performance benefits in the table. So beyond the SHA family, we have tuple hash and parallel hash are also included in the standard for specific application. The SHA-1, as we all know, is deprecated and it is not recommended to use. Now, for message authentication codes, or MACs, these are essential for confirming both the authenticity and integrity of message in transit. So, under FIPS 140 Division 3, HMAC, or hash-based message authentication code, is a key player, specifically with SHA-2 and SHA-3. So by combining the cryptographic hash function with the secret key, HMAC ensures that a message hasn't been altered. Another important method is CMAC, or a cipher-based MAC, which utilizes AES to provide strong data authentication within system symmetric key systems. As we look ahead, we must address the emerging field of post quantum cryptography, or PQC. With the rise of quantum computing, traditional cryptographic systems may soon face cyber threats or quantum threats. That's why FIPS 140 Division 3 includes PQC algorithms such as MLKEM, which corresponds to FIPS 203, MLDSA, which corresponds to FIPS 204, and SLHDSA, corresponding to FIPS 141, FIPS 205. Yeah. So these algorithms are designed to be resilient against quantum attacks, ensuring that our cryptographic practices remain effective in the future. And FIPS emphasizes the importance of self-testing these algorithms, outlining in IG 10.3.a to maintain their integrity and reliability as we transition into a new era of computing. Now let's understand what impact FIPS 140 standard can bring into your business practices. So, integrating FIPS 140 revision 2 or 3 standard as per your compliance requirement, of course, into your business practices is an important move towards strengthening your organization's data security and aligning with regulatory requirements to protect sensitive information. First, conducting a thorough risk assessment is crucial. We have to start with an assessment. This involves evaluating your current cryptographic needs by identifying the types of data you handle and the required security levels. Right? We have seen security levels in our framework. So, which level does your organization require? We need to understand that first. So, understanding what needs protection helps tailor your approach and ensuring that your assets are adequately secured. Next, developing a robust implementation plan is important. So this means selecting and deploying FIPS 140 standard approved cryptographic modules for key processes such as encryption, hashing, and key management. So these modules are designed to meet the highest standard, ensuring that your data is encrypted securely and efficiently. We can't look over importance of the compliance training. So educating the key personals about the requirements, security requirements, and compliance importance of FIPS 140 standard is very important. This knowledge helps your team to understand why these standards matter and how they can contribute to maintaining the compliance. So integrating the standards with your existing security framework is another critical step. So this involves aligning FIPS 140 revision 2 or 3 with your cipher cryptographic best practices and your cyber security best practices, developing secure key management practices and ensuring robust supply chain management. So this holistic approach creates a secure environment that protects your data from multiple angles. Moreover, establishing continuous monitoring systems is essential to ensure that your cryptographic modules are functioning correctly. And lastly, maintaining detailed documentation and conducting regular audits is a paramount. Keeping thorough records of compliance activities and performing audits helps verify adherence to your FIPS 140 standards. So by integrating FIPS 140 revision 2 or 3 in your business practices, you enhance your data security and build trust with your customers and stakeholders. So this commitment to compliance and security sets your organization apart in the increasingly competitive environment. Now let's talk about the challenges, right? So transitioning from FIPS 140 revision 2 to revision 3 can be a complex journey for organizations presenting a host of challenges. FIPS 140 revision 3 introduces stricter security requirements, additional testing, and more detailed compliance process that can seem daunting, right? So, however, understanding these challenges can pave the way for a smoother transition. So one of the primary challenges is the increased complexity and stricter security requirements. So organization must navigate through enhanced protocols that demand meticulous attention to detail. So this shift can create hurdles, especially for those uh, who are uh, who are in the FIPS 140 level 2 already. So compatibility and interoperability challenges also arise during this transition. So as new requirements are introduced, ensuring that existing systems and modules work seamlessly with updated standards can be significant challenge. And organization must conduct thorough testing to identify potential capabilities gaps and develop strategies to address them. Documentation and lifecycle management become crucial component in the transition. So FIPS 140 Division 3 demands comprehensive documentation of security processes and systems, keeping track of changes and updates throughout the lifecycle of cryptographic modules. is essential to demonstrate compliance and facilitate audits. Additionally, aligning with changing standards, including those related to post quantum cryptography, poses its own set of challenges. So, organizations need to stay informed about advancements in cryptographic techniques and ensure their practices are forward looking, particularly with the increasing prominence of quantum computing threats. Balancing compliance with operational efficiency is also can be tricky. So organization must strive to meet stringent requirements without delaying the day-to-day operations. Finding the right balance between rigorous compliance measures and maintaining a smooth operational workflow is a key for success. Okay, so now we talked about the challenges. Now let's understand how we can tackle these challenges. So establish the first thing is establishing a clear transition plan is important. So begin with assessing your existing infrastructure and prioritizing modules and systems based on their security needs. Creating a roadmap for the transition can help ensure that all aspects of your systems are aligned with the new requirements. Then updating the security policies, your existing security policy has to be updated. You have to revise your policies to reflect the new requirements of FIPS 140 revision 3 and implement a robust lifecycle management process to keep everything organized and compliant. Engaging with third party experts can provide invaluable insight and guidance throughout this process. So, collaborating with professionals who have experience transitioning from 140, FIPS 140 Revision 2 to 3 can streamline the journey and help navigate the complexities of meeting all the necessary compliance requirements. Lastly, streamline your documentation process, maintain comprehensive records throughout the transition, preparing for regular audits, and tracking the life cycle and version control of your cryptographic modules. So, this vigilance will not only aid compliance but also implant confidence in your security practices. So, by understanding these challenges and implementing strategic solutions, your organization can successfully navigate the transition from FIPS 140 Division 2 to FIPS 140 Division 3, enhancing your security architecture and meet all the necessary requirements. Now, let's look at the innovation influenced by FIPS standard. So, one key advantages is in the secure encryption. So, we have seen the cryptographic specifications as a security requirement, right? So, enhanced cryptographic algorithms have been developed to ensure strong protection for both data at rest and data in transit. And then another important innovation is the creation of the comprehensive compliance framework. So this framework provides organization with clear guidelines to meet the FIPS compliance security requirements. In risk management, new tools have been developed to assess the manage potential security risk efficiently. Access control is has also seen significant advancement, particularly in user authentication methods. So, improved authentication techniques enhance system security by ensuring that only authorized users can access sensitive information or your critical systems. As we already discussed, data integrity, that is another important innovation influenced by FIPS. So, data integrity is another critical area influenced in the FIPS requirements. And finally, interoperability standard have emerged as a key innovation. So, facilitating secure data exchange between different systems, right? So these protocols ensure that diverse systems can communicate effectively while maintaining security and enabling seamless collaboration and data sharing across platforms. So overall, the innovations driven by FIPS 140 Revision 2 and Revision 3 standard security requirements present a strong commitment to improving data security and compliance. By embracing these innovations, organizations can better protect sensitive information and adapt to the challenges in cybersecurity. Now, let me share how we helped one of the top five Fortune 500 companies in the USA to achieve FIPS 140 Revision 2 Level 3 compliance. Let me share how we helped one of the top, as we just mentioned, one of the top Fortune 500 companies. So we kicked off things by analyzing their cryptographic policies and standards, which laid a solid foundation for what came next. We updated their policies and include FIPS 140 Level 3 compliance cipher suits and encryption algorithms. Of course, we have defined the scope before we have started reviewing the policies and all. We have defined the scope of the project, and then we held weekly workshops to review the in scope cryptographic modules, data flow diagrams, and designs, and understand the existing or the current security measures implemented to secure the sensitive data for both data at rest and data in transit across their on premises and cloud environments. Then we held weekly workshops to review the in-scope cryptographic modules, data flow diagrams, and designs, and understand the current security measures implemented to secure the sensitive data for both data at rest and data in transit across their on-premises and cloud environments. So our client faced challenges such like unencrypted sensitive data and insufficient access control, weak key management practices. So to tackle these challenges, we implemented strong encryption protocols like AES 256-bit and RSA for data at rest with minimum key size of 2048 and TLS 1.2 and above protocol for data in transit. So, along with the protocols and symmetric or asymmetric algorithm, we with we have also helped them maintain the access control. So, along with role based access controls and identity based access management, we have implemented to limit the access to the cryptographic module components based on user roles. And to tackle the weak key management practices, we have helped our client establish a unique encryption keys for each cryptographic components in the application or module, and to finally implement the key management best practices in their environment. So, as we mentioned, we have also updated their cryptographic policies and control document. We have included the all the protocols and cipher suits required or approved by the FIPS 140 Revision 2 Level 3 compliant. And in the end, we developed a strategic roadmap that not only helped them achieve compliance but also position them to maintain it, along with a high level plan to transit from FIPS 140 Revision 2 to FIPS 140 Revision 3. So, this roadmap focused on boosting their security and promoting strong encryption practices throughout the organization. I hope this case study help you understand how you can be compliant and what challenges, maybe the similar kind of challenges you are also facing in your environment. Now that we have examined FIPS 140 Revision 3, let's focus on how encryption consulting can assist organizations through our advisory services. We will explore the tailored guidance we provide to support compliance with this important standard. In our advisory services, we focus in delivering detailed encryption or cryptographic assessment tailored to your organization's specific needs. Our process begins with evaluating your current infrastructure against established standards, allowing us to identify any gaps in your security measures. From there, we provide a roadmap that outlines the steps needed to achieve compliance effectively. So let's start. We start with a review of your existing policies. So this involves in identifying your current cryptographic capabilities and understanding any limitations in your systems. We also examine your overall security setup to secure we have a complete picture of your to ensure that we have a complete picture of your environment. So, taking into account various use cases relevant to your organization. Next, we assess the gaps in your current policies. This include identify gaps in your existing key management policy, existing encryption policy against the industry standards to ensure alignment with the security and compliance requirements. We conduct workshops with the identified stakeholders to specify discussion about your current applications in scope and encouraging collaboration among team members to gather valuable insight to understand the current infrastructure better. Additionally, we create an assessment questionnaire designed to capture important information about your cryptographic practices. Uh, Through this evaluation, we identify existing data encryption capabilities and your cryptographic capabilities and pinpoint specific areas for improvement. So once the assessment phase is completed, we transition into the implementation phase with a detailed roadmap. So we provide a detailed roadmap summarizing our findings and recommendations for each findings, which serves as a foundational document for your organization. So this report outlines a strategy for implementing a necessary cryptographic capabilities, ensuring that you are equipped to enhance your cryptographic practices. Our roadmap will help you align your processes with industry standards and compliance needs and adopt best practices to improve your data security, and will also help you align with your compliance requirements, as I mentioned. So, by choosing our encryption assessment services, you are taking a proactive step towards strengthening your organization's compliance and relevant standards. So, we are here to guide you through this process, ensuring that your encryption strategies are effective and aligned with your business objectives or compliance goals. So that's all from my side. Thank you all for being a part of today's presentation. We are now opening the floor for question and answer. So please feel free to share what's on your mind, and if you have any questions related to FIPS compliance or any or our advisory services, you please let us know. You can also find our contact information on the screen if you would like to reach out later. We are here to help you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Parna. That was very informative. Let's move to the Q&A session. If anyone has any questions, feel free to send in your questions via the panel. And we have the first question, which is, does the transition affect the cryptographic key management and storage processes?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. And yes, it can affect the cryptographic key lifecycle management, including its storage processes. So as I mentioned, that this transition for FIPS from FIPS 140 version 2 to revision 2 to revision 3, it addresses the latest security challenges. And so transition may impact on both the hardware or software and the procedure of the key lifecycle management, such as your organization needs to follow a more stricter security requirements for the key generation. And then you may need to migrate the existing cryptographic keys from your FIPS 140 to FIPS 143 certified cryptographic module. And also, as we talked about the physical security, so the physical security control has become more stronger or stringent in the latest version. So, yeah, which could affect where and how you are storing the keys.
Okay, perfect.
I hope that
Moving to
that
the
answered
next,
the question.
yes. So moving to the next question, what are the main differences between FIPS 142 and FIPS 143 that would impact an enterprise level organization systems?
Okay. So I think first of all, I think you would need to understand the security level of FIPS 140 Revision 3, your company or you want to comply with, and many of your differences will depend on this factor. Then you may require to update your current security policies. Then you introduces the new requirements of which is for example the physical security. So you need to ensure that your cryptographic module is aligned with the requirements as mentioned in the framework, and for which you may need to upgrade the current hardware or software you are using. And also you may need to implement stronger code signing practices for firmware verification method, and to ensure that only the authenticated update is entered into your system.
Okay, perfect. So moving on to the last question that we have for today. What measures should we take to maintain continuous compliance and minimize disruption during the transition?
Okay. So I think it is very, my answer will be very similar to what I have explained in the one of the slide that I have shown that how this transition or the security requirements can impact your business. So we need to perform a gap analysis to identify the differences your current FIPS 140 Revision 2 compliance setup and the new FIPS 140 Revision 3 requirements. So you need to pay attention to the key areas such as physical security or cryptographic specification or entropy standards. And then you create a proper transitioning roadmap, outline each steps and focus on high priority areas or the systems, your crown jewel systems, and which modules has the private keys or which module has the sensitive data as per your data classification policy. And you communicate properly, and proper communication is very much needed. So you communicate properly with the relevant stakeholders and you set milestone for each task. And then of course you implement a stronger or advanced key management practices if required, if it is not there already in your environment. And then another main factor would be train and educate your staff on FIPS 140 Revision 3 security requirements. Yeah, this is a high level approach, I can say.
Okay, great. So these are all the questions that we are taking up today. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us. And thank you once again, Parna, for joining us. Your insights were really invaluable, and to our audience, thank you so much for joining in. We've got one more
Thank
session for you, and we'll see you in that one. Thank you, Parna.
thank you. Bye bye.